better off having Flynn to do it for you.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't.
4 hours.
Sorry, chap. How do you know start us off?
Well, Eddie, how tough was the selection been this week, given what happened in Scotland? I mean, kept changes to a bit of a minimum, really, didn't you?
Well, you know, selection's always the same. We pick the best 23 for the weekend's game.
When you talk about wanting a reaction, though, sometimes it's human nature, isn't it, to maybe go at it hell for leather, if you like, and make more.
Yeah, but again, we don't make selection choices like that. We pick the best 23 for each week. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we get it wrong, but we're always endeavouring to get it right.
Owen is obviously going to be your captain on the weekend. We've seen sort of 20, 30 minutes. What sort of captain do you think he'll make?
Well, I just expect him to play well. You know, Owen has the respect of the players. He respects the players. You know, he's a passionate, aggressive player, and he'll lead from the front. And that's the expectation. And it's not only Owen's role that's changed. You know, it's the rest of the players' roles. They've got to support him. You know, so it's a two-way relationship. And I'm sure he will have their support.
And how have you done that this week in terms of asking more of the players?
It's an ongoing process. You know, we're trying to develop a team that's self-reliant, and we're moving along that pathway. And you know, when you have a loss like we had, it accelerates and emphasises the need for that to happen, and that's what's happened within the team.
Has any of those players surprised you?
No.
Any of them kind of stood up that you didn't necessarily think?
Well, I think all the players have been excellent. They've responded well to the loss, focused, re-energised, regenerated on what the target is ahead.
And how bad is Dylan's injury then? Do you expect him to be fit for next week?
Well, he's not fit enough to be water boy on Saturday. Let's put it that way. But yeah, we'll see how he goes next week. He started running today, and we're obviously hopeful he's going to be fit.
You said this week no one's indispensable, and so it proved. Mike Brown is not deemed right for this game. Why not just a couple of weeks after his man of the match against Wales?
Yeah, look, it's a tough call on Brownie. He's been a really good, solid player for us, but we've decided to go with a back three with a bit more pace this week. I feel the game will lead itself to that, and it'll be advantageous for us, but Brownie will come and do his job off the bench.
How did he take it? Did you know he's quite...
Very well. Really impressed by him. Obviously the players sense selection changes early in the week, and he's really given his best. He's trained hard, helped Anthony. Really good sign of the team.
And TA's selection, I mean, you talked about brutal and aggressive is what you want. Is that reflecting in your decision to play him first year?
Yeah, well, the French play fairly direct. And he's going to enjoy getting a shot on Bastereau early.
Danny George, the only enforced change in the pack. When you looked at the stats, and particularly the back row, were you not tempted to make changes there?
Look, we're always looking to improve the team, but we feel, again, this is the best combination for this week. It's a different challenge. Nathan will be a couple of weeks fitter. Courtney's a good player for us at 6, and Robbo's a great servant for the team at 7. So we believe they can do the job. And again, the breakdown's not just the role of the back row. I know that's the common thought. It's the role of the team. We have to be better all around. Owen's got to be better at the breakdown. George Ford's got to be better at the breakdown. Johnny May's got to be better at the breakdown. So it's the team's responsibility, and we've worked pretty hard on that on these last couple of weeks.
I know, and you've had the opportunity of captaining sort of 20, 30 minutes before, haven't you? But does it feel different this time? And I know Eddie talks a lot on a Thursday how he kind of hands it almost over to you to get the players in the right frame of mind. Does it feel kind of a bit more responsible, a bit different?
Not too much at the minute, no. obviously Dylan's still around. He's still doing a brilliant job behind the scenes. There's a couple more responsibilities that you take on, but I don't think nothing changes too much.
It's been probably crazy kind of few weeks, isn't it? At one point you didn't know whether you were going to have disciplinary action and after what happened in that tunnel, and then suddenly to find yourself kind of a week and a half later leading out beside. It must have been a bit of an odd few weeks.
It's been pretty normal for us. We're just here training, trying to improve and trying to get better, and it's been a good couple of weeks as far as that's concerned.
You weren't worried at any point that you might face missing this one?
I weren't at the time, no, but you never know what will happen.
Owen, just in terms of your pride and the opportunity to go to a place like Paris and lead England out, just talk to me a little bit about the psychology of the team and you as you prepare for what lies ahead.
The team's been brilliant this week. We've trained really well. We can take a lot of confidence from the way that we're prepared. As you said, it's a big challenge going to Paris and playing against a tough team. So we're going to get excited about it now.
And we know there's such a strong leadership collective with England, but to have a guy in Mako Vunipola who you know so well as your new vice captain for at least this week, important relationship? Yeah,
no, Mako's brilliant. He leads from the front. With his actions, he's always first to put his hand up to do the hard work, and lads love to follow that.
And in terms of the French, it's a challenge, just the one major change at fly half. What do you expect from a team that's kind of putting it together quite quickly after some changes, but maybe coming good?
Yeah, definitely. They're obviously a team that can do a lot of damage. We've got to make sure that we get the start of the game right. We've got to make sure we get our attitude right and prepare for that start. And as I said, we're getting excited for it now.
Eddie, I remember you saying at the Six Nations launch about Jacques Brunel coming in and how, as a very experienced but talented coach, things would come good for the French, and you kind of being proved right, maybe over time a little bit.
He's a very good coach, and they've got good players. So we're expecting a tough old tussle, but as long as we're brutal and ruthless on the game line and play with discipline when we've got the ball, then I think we'll have too much for him. But it'll be a tough game, and he's a great coach.
Great memories from nearly 2 years ago with your first Grand Slam in Paris, and still quite a few players who were involved. How much will that memory tap in and be important?
Look, it's always good to have wins at certain grounds. You go there, you feel a bit more comfortable, but at the end of the day, it's a new game against a new team. We've got a different team, and everything will be decided after kick-off, so we don't look back and say this gives us an advantage.
In terms of one or two of the other personnel changes, Elliot Daly was England's Player of the Autumn, I think was voted. How important to have him back and playing?
Well, he's just come back refreshed. He's enthusiastic, he's injury-free, he's ready to go, and we know he's a class player, so it just adds again to what's a strong back three for us.
And you mentioned to Gail briefly about an attacking back three. How excited are you by the prospect of Daly, May and Watson as your starters? Yeah, well,
the three of them are generally quick. They've got enormous pace, but they've got to work together. France score a lot of their points through attacking kicks, so the ability to counter those attacking kicks and then take the opportunities to attack when we get loose ball from them will be vital in our preparation for the game.
Owen, last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, Eddie spoke about how we thought we were prepared, even was in place, but intensity didn't happen. What can you do to ensure that you really hit the ground running this time?
We talked about getting excited for it. Over the past couple of weeks, we know that we'd trained to improve, to get better. I think that's been a big thing for us, and now it's all about us getting excited to play. And the boys. The boys will prepare us in that way. The boys will speak about what gets them excited, and I'm sure it'll be a good build-up now to the game.
Eddie, sorry, you said Jacques Brunel was a very good coach. What's it about him in particular as a coach that has impressed you over the years?
Well, anyone that can last the distance, like going 15 rounds against Muhammad Ali, if you can coach professionally for 20 years, you're doing a lot of things right, mate. He's a good selector. He's got a certain style of play, always picks big physical teams. They always play like that, and if they're good enough, they win.
Eddie, France is the only Six Nations side not to have had a foreign coach. Are they missing something?
Well, I think every country makes their own decision. You know, I'm sure that every country would like to have their own nationally coach their team, because there's a lot of national pride involved in coaching your team. So I don't think they're missing out on anything. I think they're investing in French coaches, and good luck to them.
And you said previously that England had 40% fitter than they used to be. And this is an area, I'm afraid, in which France are weak. I mean, we gave away the games at Murrayfield 2 weeks ago. How important would be the last 20 minutes of the game?
Well, I think in any test match, the first 20 and the last 20 is super important. You know, you either get out and you set the tone for the game the first 20, or the last 20 you're either closing the game down, or you've got to accelerate what you do. And I think, you know, the good teams traditionally do well in those periods of play. And this game will be no different. They'll be important periods of play.
Eddie, when it comes to that change of fly half for France, how much of a dynamic shift is that for them, do you think?
Probably not a great deal. You know, they both play similarly. Probably the young boy Trin Duc, well, he's not that young anymore, at his best takes the ball to the line more. Got a good attacking kicking game. But, you know, they're very similar sort of players.
And what have been your big conclusions for France over the course of the championship? Have they surprised you in any way? Or?
No, as I said at the start of the tournament, I always thought they're going to be a much better team. I think, you know, they've got an experienced coach in place. He knows what international rugby's about. He knows how to select well. You know, he's a disciplined coach, and they're starting to play like that, so they haven't surprised me at all.
Eddie, what's your Australian perspective on the crunch and the rivalry between France and England in rugby, and does it compare in any way to the rivalry between Australia and New Zealand?
Yeah, well, I think it's one of those traditional rivalry games that, you know, everyone gets excited about because it means a lot. You know, whenever you got a country separated by just a small body of ocean, the intense rivalry of those games is fantastic, and certainly Australia and New Zealand, we had it, and I know England and France have got it. So, you know, even the nickname Le Crunch gives you an idea of what's the players are going to be involved in. So it's great. It's great for rugby. Really important, these sort of rivalries, and I think the great thing about rugby is that whilst we have this intense rivalry on the field, you know, once the game's finished, everyone enjoys having been part of the game. The fans enjoy it, the players enjoy it, but when they're out on the field, it's 100%. You know, we want to beat them, and they want to beat us.
We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Sorry.
Pass your cross.
Which one's ours?